Irish guy, and what? What did I just watch? Liverpool fans, this must feel like attending your dog's funeral after watching poor old Spot get splattered by a bus. Honestly, if I'm a Red Scouser today, right now, it just feels like I've let a horse jump on my stomach. Honestly, sitting in the crowd at Anfield and receiving those 3-goal updates on their phone, they would sooner receive a Snapchat from their grandmother shaving her legs in the bath. They would sooner receive a Facebook friend request from that weird neighbour who's known to eat stray dogs. Honestly, when their phone buzzed with the Sky Sports update from Man City's 3rd goal, those fans would sooner they were sent a photo of James Corden wiping pizza off his nutsack. I mean, Philippe Coutinho was the length of a sheep's earlobe away from becoming an undisputed bona fide Liverpool legend. It would have been the greatest redemption story in sport. I mean, Coutinho is a man Liverpool fans regularly laugh at. Honestly, he's one of the few players who didn't believe in the Klopp fairy tale, choosing to head headfirst into a soon-to-be bankrupt Barcelona. I mean, he's now 29 and finishing 14th in the league with Aston Villa. If you told him that this would be his career path 4 years ago, he would think you would just lick some dodgy Chinese food off the floor. I mean, if he walked through a Liverpool city centre last week, sure, he'd be met with some spotty 13-year-old begging for a selfie, but mostly, he'd just be met with eyes of pity. You know, a bit like if you saw Vince Vaughn buying a Kit Kat in Morrison's. I mean, sure, he was one of the biggest actors on the planet in 2005, but now, probably has to take showers in the sink. Coutinho choosing to not be part of Klopp's miracle project. I mean, it's like if Robbie Williams had left Take That and then instantly flopped. If people had chosen not to buy his singles, and so within 9 months, he was rummaging through Gary Barlow's bins for his lunch. Honestly, Philippe Coutinho is Zayn Malik, who I don't think has done anything since Pillow Talk. But this was Pip's moment. Look at that, you just turned the entire Man City defence inside and out, and you've drilled Aston Villa 2-0 ahead at the Etihad with just 20 minutes left. Coutinho scored nearly 60 goals for Liverpool, but I'm sorry, this was the single most important goal he ever scored for the club. Imagine if Villa had just held on. Coutinho would almost be granted a statue outside Melwood. I mean, his ex-teammates would be inviting him on the bus parade. But now, instead, I repeat, what did I just watch? For an hour, Manchester City were butlers. This was QPR all over again. Your job description was beat Aston Villa at the Etihad, and Pep Guardiola decides to pick an old man as centre-back. Fernandinho, brilliant footballer in his day, but he's about as much a centre-half as I am a Swedish postman. Even trying to mark a fizzy live wire like Ollie Watkins. It was all too much for him. You know, a bit like an elderly granddad being asked to babysit the demon off The Exorcist. I mean, he would try and give her a bedtime. She would probably bite off his face. And why spend £40 million on Nathan Ake when you're not going to trust him? Honestly, when that opening goal went in, Manchester City's title bid was nearly ruined by cash. Bit ironic that. And when Coutinho put the ball in the back of the net, that was the moment where the Liverpool fans nearly exploded their skulls. Make no mistake about it, this was so very nearly a bottled job. Manchester City had nearly £500 million worth of talent on the pitch and couldn't score against Villa for an hour and 10 minutes. But honestly, this is the greatest Premier League substitution of all time. I mean, this had been Ilkay Gundogan's week.
Arsenal want Man City's Ilkay Gundogan, but might not play him as such a midfielder.
Oh, poor Ilkay. When he read this on the paper just hours after they lost at Newcastle, he probably felt like vomiting on his cornflakes. But this was an incredible substitution. Pep Guardiola, you've got one sub left. You need 3 goals in 20 minutes, and you've got a £100 million playmaker sitting on your bench. You know, someone playing against his former club. I'm guessing when Grealish saw Pep pick Gundogan, a central midfielder about to leave the club instead, he must have been contemplating whether or not to go home and make toast in the bath. But Pep, you, sir, are a genius. 3 goals. Gundogan scores 2 at the back post, sandwiching a superb Rodri finish. This is one of the greatest ways to win a Premier League title, and in the world of ultra-professional football clubs, I mean, there's always a liability in one team, right? And I promise you, I'm sure, by about 6 o'clock tonight, there'll be photos leaked to the Sun of Grealish at 4 AM drinking Guinness out of a stripper's belly button. I'm sure he will. I mean, he's won the Premier League, yes. I realise it might be a nice moment for him, but really, you've just watched Man City win the league. I mean, you could just turn on your TV and seen them do that 3 times in 4 years. Honestly, if I'm him, being effectively told that you're not needed for the club's most important Premier League match in a decade. Oh, it's all a bit embarrassing. I mean, yeah, he started 4 of the previous 5 games, and he has played the full 90 minutes in 15 league matches this season. Pep clearly likes him, so to be told you're not playing against your former club, oh, it's just a bit cutting. A bit like popping over to your mother's house for Christmas dinner, and instead of getting food, she just tells you to eat last night's scrambled egg out of the bin. Oh, the disrespect. Well, lads, this was just the football gods balancing things out. Because back in 2005, Liverpool were clearly sprinkled with Peter Pan fairy dust to score 3 times in 6 minutes against AC Milan. So now it was just Man City's turn, and Liverpool finally know what the Italians felt like back then. Yeah, must have felt like swallowing a bag of doorknobs on the bus ride home. And the weirdest thing is, Scott Carson was in the stadium for both miracles. I'm sorry, can we just take a minute to appreciate one of the weirdest careers in sport? Scott Carson has just won the 2nd Premier League of his career. He's a man who also reached 2 Champions League finals. 16 years apart, and he also won a UEFA Super Cup, and he has a runner-up medal in the League Cup. He even reached the final of the Turkish Cup, and all this despite having the natural goalkeeping ability of a cheese sandwich. This is a man who spent his 20s at West Brom and Wigan. He was officially a Derby County player last summer. He started his career at Cleaton Moor Celtic. How is he here? It's like someone from the sleepy suburbs of Shrewsbury who works in a box factory, winding up fighting dragons with a sword. Like, alright, this guy should be serving burgers in a van, not lifting a Premier League title at 36. Honestly, this man is going to be the best podcast guest of all time. It's like he's won the lottery. Honestly, he's got wrists made of chocolate, and most likely his knees stiffer than the wheels of a bus. And as far as strict football diets go, I'm pretty sure he wakes up every morning wolfing down 6 bowls of cookies. This man is the Homer Simpson of Man City. But honestly, Scott, fair play. But Liverpool, oh Liverpool, those fans must feel like chewing off their feet. Honestly, it's not a joke. I'm sure there's at least 9 Scousers in Merseyside who got sick on the couch yesterday. The tension, and not for 1 minute were they top of the league either. Christ, they came close to choking too. It took them 84 minutes to take the lead against Wolves. You know, after the 5 minutes of madness at the Etihad. Let's get it right. At the start of the season, who saw Liverpool getting 92 points? So put it in context, what they did last season, it was the same points total that Arsenal got this time out. Honestly, they shouldn't be in the Champions League final this season, because 69 points, that should have got them 5th. Not 3rd. They shouldn't be playing Real Madrid in the European final. They should have been facing Rangers. At the start of this season, Gary Neville said that the Liverpool project was done. No. 8 points off 100, Gary. Winning both domestic cups and reaching the Champions League final. That is sickeningly, frighteningly good. What an epic job Jurgen Klopp has done. But this must hurt. Liverpool fans, this must be horrible. At least when this happened on the final day in 2019, at least the title was done by half time. Again, your job description that day was beat Wolves at home, which you did by 2 goals, but Man City were 3-1 up against Brighton after half an hour. It was disappointing, sure, but it's not as if your heart had been ripped out your throat and chucked into a microwave. But this was your Aguero moment when word filtered through at Anfield that Coutinho had scored. Oh, time must have stood still. I cannot begin to fathom the excitement that would have caused in the Kop. That level of excitement. It's better being 5 years old and being told that Pikachu is coming over for lunch, when in reality, it's just your weird uncle in a yellow rabbit onesie. But still, I mean, you'd be awake for hours. That was the moment where Liverpool fans' dreams were coming true. So to hear 3 goal alerts filter through in 5 minutes, just before 6 o'clock, horrible. No other word for it. I'm sure those phones were instantly smashed off toilet walls. Liverpool fans, just tell me, how sore is this loss? This was your chance to lift the Premier League title at Anfield in front of the fans in nearly 3 decades. Honestly, if Villa just held on, then that Mo Salah winner, that would have been your Aguero moment. I mean, the stadium might have just imploded with ecstasy. Jurgen Klopp is a man who created Ilkay Gundogan. He might as well have spawned him out of his hips or grew him in a petri dish. Honestly, Jurgen Klopp took him out of Nuremberg in 2011 and molded him into a midfield superstar at Borussia Dortmund. Without Klopp, this fella would probably just wound up in midfield at QPR or Stoke. And Liverpool wanted him in 2016. I mean, you didn't sign him and got Gini Wijnaldum instead. I don't remember too many Liverpool fans crying about missing out on Gundogan back then. Instead, it's been the likes of Nabil Fekir, who these supporters have been drooling over like a sirloin steak for years. But no, that failure to land Gundogan. Now it's all about getting Jude Bellingham out of Borussia Dortmund, but I'm sorry, that failure to get Gundogan out of the same club, that has now officially cost you a Premier League title. Oh, Liverpool. I realised no Liverpool fans really want pity from a sweaty Irish ogre screaming in a cave. You know, somebody who eats shredded newspaper for breakfast and brushes his teeth with a sock. But honestly, this must be a gut-wrenchingly cruel way to lose the league. To me, this is worse than what those Man United fans went through when Aguero scored in 2012. Because at least for them, the fans have been celebrating a Premier League title at Old Trafford the previous May. But Liverpool, I don't care what you say. To me, it just doesn't feel like you've won a Premier League title yet. And this is agonizingly cruel. You must feel like biting off a chunk of your fridge. 90 points. 90 points is what Arsenal got when they went unbeaten in the league. And yet still, you're going to look back on all those drop points at the start of the season and analyse it until the brain starts pouring out your ears. Don't worry though, I can pinpoint this. Go back to mid-October. You just picked up 2 back-to-back 5-0 away wins on the road. I mean, who does that? 2 tricky trips to a newly promoted club. Oh, and Manchester United. And you pick up a 10-0 aggregate win with 2 players scoring hat-tricks? That was the moment to immediately kick on. Instead, you then pick up 1 point from 2 games against Brighton and West Ham. Price of losing away at West Ham. Kurt Zuma scoring the winner. Liverpool essentially lost the title to some meatball defender who seems to like doing keepy-uppies with the cat. Well done to Manchester City, but honestly, Liverpool, this must be horrible. Anyway, that's what do you think? And let me know in the comment section below, what do you think? Yes, Premier League table coming tomorrow. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.